everyone, and welcome back to Salty Sweet Games, where we shenanigan, sob, and smooch our way through tabletop role-playing games. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, our long-running Pulp Cthulhu campaign. Our 2-year anniversary is on February 22nd, so whenever that weekend is, we'll have been playing this for literally 2 years. Literally. It's exciting. And we are back from our long winter break. Excited to get back into Shanghai in the middle of typhoon season. Did you all know that you're going back in the middle of typhoon season? Are you excited? Great. Before we go around and see how excited everyone is about that, we have our usual channel shout outs to do. First, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, starting with Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy to use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their Spotlight program, which highlights indie tabletop creators all across the interwebs. Did you know it's Evil Hat Month on Roll20? They're having sales on things like Thirsty Sword Lesbians, and there's a free starter kit version adventure for Monster of the Week. Yeah, that's all happening. There's like a fancy landing page and everything. There are videos up on YouTube and streams happening, so go check it out. Also, thank you to Dice Envy and Grinding Coffee Co. We are affiliates with them. We have links and discount codes and the things. We have things. If you like your shiny math rocks, if you like your soaked beans as much as I do, you can save some money and support some awesome companies and support us too. Haha. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, because we have fancy new emotes. They're adorable. They're of our pretzel boy, our little hedgehog. We have a swoon one, like a drama, like, ugh. And we have a little like raider / defense one with his shield, and we have a spicy one because it felt like that was missing from our lives, and that just wasn't okay. We weren't okay with that. So you can get those by subscribing or using channel points. You can always use channel points to unlock those things for like 24 hours. Thank you to everybody who has chatted, lurked, still been liking and commenting on YouTube. Always love seeing those. Super appreciate it. So if you would like to support us further, there is a tip button. If you go down to affect the game, you can impact like what is going on in this game, and you can support the channel because we compensate our cast and, you know, do upkeep and want to like increase production value and all that kind of stuff. It is always appreciated but never expected. We are just glad you are here wherever and whenever you are here. Time is soup, I think. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, X, N, and O cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings, because while the characters may be going to Shanghai in the middle of typhoon season and they're probably going to an island, super smart, the players are here to have fun, and they're our priority always, so we should probably talk to them. Let's start with Kienna, my sweet. Did you know that they are the sweet half of Salty Sweet Games? Hi, Kienna.
Hello, it's me. I was like, where am I gonna say that I'm sweet? Excuse me.
Oh my god, I just ran over it.
It's fine. We're coming back into it. I forgot what our commands were. I had to go kick Streamlabs awake. Yep. We're all just getting back to the groove of it. But hi, I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of the channel. My pronouns are she and they. But today I am playing Irene Blackwell. We found out she and her. So excited to be back as our mom of the group, who's also a forger, can shoot really well. I managed to improve her shooting since we ended out Australia and came into here. Also found out that she likes throwing dynamite sometimes, so it's great. You know, wish I could get my hands on it while in Shanghai, but
darn.
You know, maybe donations could get me a useful
Get you
item
more
at some point.
dynamite.
Hey, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Sure,
No
sure,
biggie.
sure, sure. Maybe. Let's go over to Allie. Hi, Allie.
Hello. Hey, everybody. It's great to be back. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist, who weirdly got involved in some pretty dark magic last time we played. And I don't think she's quite the same. She came out unscathed, but I mean, we'll see, I suppose, how it's affected her consciousness.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to it because I don't know. Let's go down to Summer.
Hello, it's me. Yeah, hi, howdy, it's me, Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and today I am playing Ava Cowles, who also uses she, her pronouns. And she's like low-key doesn't want to be here. Her dad just died. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like kind of crazy. It happened a little bit ago. She'd like almost turned on the group, like not a huge deal. I'm sure that all will be forgiven. But yeah, so we're going to Shanghai. I'm sure I'm going to be pleasant to travel with. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, everything sounds pretty par for the course so far. Wonderful. And last but not least, let's go over to Tommy.
Hello, hi, I'm Tommy. I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III. And I mean, he wasn't there for a lot of what happened in Australia, so he kind of just came back. There was a fight. There was the dude trying to become God, and that wasn't cool. And he's just kind of, chilling at the moment. Charles is gone. That's weird. Although not unexpected. And yeah, he's just kind of vibing at the moment.
Great, good. So, with that in mind, if you are somehow finding this for the first time, I'm gonna sum up 2 years worth of this game. This motley crew is trying to stop an apocalyptic event from occurring. Their journey started when their good friend Jackson Elias was murdered for investigating the infamous Carlisle expedition, the members of which were all formerly presumed dead, though we know they're not now. Since then, the group has uncovered a global conspiracy involving various death cults who all worship different aspects of the same eldritch god. Many names, many forms, but all the same and to one end. This has taken them from Peru to New York to England to Shanghai and Australia. The cults are working together to build a machine that will rupture and taint the sky to open the way for countless unfathomable hungry beings. Our heroes have discovered the planned date of the launch and know that a great ritual will be performed in precise synchronicity with it. The machine, described as Silver Bird, is housed in a volcano on Grey Dragon Island off the coast of Shanghai, from which the investigators were previously forced to flee. Now, on July 18th, 1925, 2 days before the new moon, and exactly 6 months until the Great Ritual, the cargo steamer you talked your way on to in Darwin is docking in the busy port of Shanghai. It is sweltering as you approach the city that very nearly killed most of you the last time you were here. Your thoughts drift back to the events of Australia, seeing your friend and Ava's father, Dr. Cowles, killed in front of you, finding and exploring the vast underground city, encountering a bona fide alien, getting Zebulon back somehow, facing the megalomaniac Dr. Robert Houston, who very nearly convinced some of you to join him in his ascension to godhood. And finally, deciding to entrust the rehabilitation of the miners Houston brainwashed solely to your allies Winnie and Kakakatak, because time is running short. As it begins to rain, let's go around to everyone. Can you please describe your character, because it's been a while, and tell us what's on their mind? Let's start with Ganymede Graves.
Ganymede is an English woman. Has tended to be rather prim and proper by the standards of the Americans in the group, although her own countrymen and women wouldn't necessarily see it that way. She's tall and lean, and she has very dark hair that she wears, kind of wavy hair that she wears in kind of a bob that in the weeks that have passed since Australia has seen one very prominent curl in the front go from that raven black through gray to shock white, oddly today, perhaps some kind of a effect of the magic that she allowed to pass through her body to save the group from said would-be god. She has tended to be pretty positive, pretty optimistic about their chances, and that's shifted a bit as well over the last few weeks. The first few days aboard ship, she was very, very quiet and kept to herself and to her cabin. Her sleep schedule seemed to reverse for a few days, and she was up all night and slept all day. But she seems to have come out of it somewhat a bit as the boat has steamed north and started to re-engage with her friends and with the world around her a little bit. She also has rarely strayed far from her weapon of choice. She's kept it very close and has demonstrated a lot of anxiety when it's not been right where she expected it to be for some reason or another.
Right, and what about Ava?
Woo! Ava, she's very beautiful. I think we all know this. Yeah, she's slender, like a little bit on the smaller side, like maybe like 5'3", 5'4". She has like very, very light blonde hair that has like a bit of natural like curl texture to it. That she generally has to like, I think like work to keep in shape. She's got like really light blue eyes, fair skin. She is not great. And I think has really, over the course of the past couple weeks, has kind of gone from like really taking, I mean, when the group met her, she was like very put together, very like scholarly, and kind of, I think, looked older than she actually was. She's 21. But over the course of the past few days, especially, she's kind of given up. Like usually like would wear like lipstick and like, I don't know, like would have some kind of like a little bit of makeup on, but is kind of let that go. And her hair is a little bit more wild. I mean, especially being out at sea, it's like it kind of became a futile like attempt for her to keep it together anyway versus like arid Australia. So yeah, her overall her she's pretty reclusive, I would say, on the whole, generally keeping to herself. She tends to come out of her room only to eat, and then kind of retreats. Spends a lot of time sleeping. I think like any of you would know, it's kind of like painful for her to be awake at this point. She's still coming to terms with everything that happened in Australia. And so, yeah, not a good headspace, not good energy around her, like very much like a dark cloud kind of like clinging to her. But she's still kind of like going through the motions of taking care of herself, at least, which I think would be reassuring. But yeah, it's not great.
For these two, Ava and Ganymede, let's go back about 2 weeks when you were, you had managed to make your way back to the nearest city and eventually to Darwin, to the boat, as you were preparing to board this cargo steamer. Let's see a moment of the two of you, because we know that it might be a little strange, a little unexpected for Ava to be coming with the group, especially to Ganymede, who witnessed the near betrayal. So yeah, let's zoom in on that moment.
Yeah, I love that. I imagine that it is perhaps late, very late at night, or very early in the morning, during that period when Ganymede has been awake more after dark than she has during the day, and maybe it's out on deck. It's very, especially right now, it's so hot and so humid that being out on deck where there's a breeze is sometimes the only comfortable place, especially if you can't get to sleep. And so I think perhaps we find each other there on the deck, and Ganymede is a bit surprised to find anyone other than the crew that that are up for their night watches, and she can see you coming in the moonlight. Oh, well, couldn't sleep.
Yeah, you see like Ava, I think she's wearing like a night dress, and kind of has her hair pushed back, like maybe even like pinned, to like preserve the curls for the next day. But there's definitely like her cheeks and eyes are kind of red, her nose is red. And it's very clear like she just cries most of the time that she's not with other people. Don't think she expected to see you. And she kind of like straightens up a little bit. It was like she didn't notice that you were there until you said something to her. And she just kind of blinks a few times and like puts her shoulders back. And she says, no.
Nor could I. It seems oddly difficult to sleep these days. I've never had problem with that in the past, but her voice sort of trails off. She looks out at the horizon for a moment and then looks back. And as you're a bit closer, notices that what you've just described. Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. It will pass. The worst of it.
I think she kind of like leans against the rail and doesn't like really look at you. You know, it wasn't so bad. It didn't feel, I mean, of course I remember what it was like when my mother died. But I think I missed her abstractly. I was too little to really know who she was. I mean, I knew that she loved me and, of course, have fond memories of her. But I really knew him. You know, both as a father and a colleague and a friend. And I just don't really know how to reconcile him not being here anymore.
How long had it been just the two of you?
Since I was 7.
So a wry smile crosses Ganymede's lips. And after a moment, she says, I was 8, actually. It was both of them, so tear the bandage off all at once. But I didn't have to see it. And you did, and the violence of it. And yet, life goes on, I suppose. It did for me.
That man brought your friend back. And I don't obviously know much about this world that I seem to find myself a part of. But that idea that my father could come back, I think that's what really keeps me up. I think that most of us can admit to the selfish feeling of wanting to do anything to bring back loved ones.
The sharp shadows of the moon over the ocean. You can see Ganymede's jaw tighten as if she's grinding her teeth, trying to hold something back. And then she turns to you. And there's something in her eyes that is new even to you, but that her other friends would find worrisome if they saw it. And she says, "You think it would be worth it? You imagine that you could tap into a bit of that power and somehow draw him back across the gulf, but there are things worse than the pain that you're feeling right now." When her eyes look down for a moment, as if she's can't find the word or doesn't want to say it, and then back at you. When I reached out and took hold of it, it was like there was something inside me, Eva, something cold and wet and alive. It was like my body was hollow and it was filled with eels. And when I lay down and close my eyes, it's still there. I don't think it will ever go away. When we were in England, I saw a vision. It was my parents, and they were in a place that there was no way that they could possibly be, and yet there they were, and they saw me, and it was not a dream, it was real. And I know how they got there. And I know that I could follow them. I can't tell you how many nights I've sat staring at the box that holds the vials that they drank. But if this, and she kind of points to her torso and her head, if this is the cost, then I will happily choose being alone. And she looks away from you for a moment and looks out at the water again and says, "And you should too."
I can't pretend to know what it is you're feeling. But I don't know that we're the same. if I could go back. Change anything. Take his place somehow, I would. Because the world is a much worse place without him in it. I'm sure I have to imagine that it does get easier with time. I know that everyone loses their parents. Of course, I expected to say goodbye to him at some point in my life. But not like that. Not how it happened. And maybe you're okay with the idea of being alone because your parents are out there. And you get to hold on to the idea that maybe you could see them again someday. So, you say that you would happily choose being alone, but you don't really have to make that decision. And so when offered the opportunity to not be alone, of course I was going to take it. Because I really don't have anyone else in this world. Our situations are similar, but I don't think they're the same, Kienna.
There's a long, quiet moment. Ganymede seems to soften a bit. And then she sighs. I wish Charles were here. He'd have something wise to say to both of us, I think. When I learned that my parents had been lost, I learned by a telegram sent from my grandfather. My nanny read it to me. And that day, at his command, she packed up my things in a case and sent me off by boat and by train to the Suez. I met my grandfather there. I'd only met him once before. He took me on board, and I wanted so badly to run into his arms and just be held, but the Admiral is not that kind of a man, certainly not in front of his crew. treated me like an 8-year-old able seaman. But over time, the men and women of the Daring became family to me. It's not the same, of course, but I know that if I needed them, that they would steam at top speed to wherever I was in the world. You'll find that, Ava. You will. You're an intelligent and wise and beautiful young woman. That thing, those ones that you're missing right now. Perhaps they're out there somewhere, just waiting for you to find them.
She just kind of shrugs a little bit. And pushes back up off the rail where she was leaning and straightens up, and it's like, seems like it's like her body is like heavy. I guess we'll see.
She turns to you and says, and she straightens up a bit. They keep tea in the galley at all hours, or reasonable facsimile thereof. Would you fancy a cup before the sun comes up?
Sure.
All right. With that, let's flash forward back to July 18th as the cargo steamer pulls into Shanghai. Irene, could you describe yourself and what you're thinking about right now?
Yeah, Irene is a Chinese American woman in her 30s. She is, especially here in Shanghai, someone who seems very passable at a glance. Someone that you could kind of just see as part of a crowd, but otherwise not really notice. She is, even if with all the travel, usually quite pale, petite, and generally has a look in her eyes as if she's looking around everywhere except for whatever's right in front of her, whether that's trying to observe the situation around her or thinking about what she's going to draw next as an artist, or thinking about what's in store. She is more prepared for the weather now that it's the second time coming into Shanghai, but she still has a way to cover herself up, as if trying to put a barrier between herself and the rest of the world. And particularly, she looks out from under the brim of her hat. Hair already starting to fall out its bun from the humidity, but fighting to stay in anyways. She's thinking about a lot of different things. It's half a year until they have to finish everything, and despite the impossibility of it, she thinks about what could be happening afterwards. Returning home and to her daughter, to make sure that she's okay. See what on earth if Victor had made contact at all with her family since she's been away. And wondering about if everything and everyone will be okay. Because she can account for everybody here now. She knows that she can keep an eye on everyone that's in her group right now. But there is one person who isn't. And Charlie lingers on her mind. She wonders where he is, even as those thoughts are tinged by a bit of frustration, upsetness. She's unable to pin down what it is. But there's a level of anger towards Charlie that, well, before any anger towards him was always in this idea of, please take care of yourself better way. This was something different.
And what about Zebulon?
Man, Awa is 21. Zeb's no longer a baby in the group because Zeb is 22 now because he had a birthday in May.
I'm no longer baby.
No
by
longer
months.
baby.
By months.
By
But I'm no
months.
longer baby.
No longer baby. Zebulon is a fairly tall, somewhere in the mid 6 footish area, kind of a what's the word? Man, I had the word for it earlier. Solid. There we go. He's kind of a solid build. He's got sort of this dirty blonde hair that has grown out quite a bit since the start of this adventure, and a thick, bushy mustache that has grown out in Shanghai. And he's fairly weathered looking. He's spent a lot of time outdoors for a long time, mostly playing football. He's a Charleston boy, so he can be not necessarily laid back, but a little bit more casual. Believes very firmly in hospitality and manners and all that, though. Being nice to people primarily. The things that have happened have certainly, to a degree, changed him. He isn't necessarily as, I would say, naive about the world as much. There was a time shortly after Jackson Elias's death, right? I got that's the order, right? Yeah, that's right. I was like, just making sure I got that order right. Where he was angry, or upset would probably be the better term for that. Less anger, more upset. Though I think that has at this point not gone away, but cooled to a point where it's not necessarily, at the forefront of his mind. And he's kind of come to a point where things happen and they're going to happen. Strange things are going to happen, and you kind of just got to take it in roll. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. Because he's certainly seen some strange things that were very close to driving him crazy. So he's and on this boat at this moment, he's still a little out of the loop, I would say. Maybe update a little bit, but since he wasn't there for a lot of what happened in Australia. He's kind of disconnected from things at the moment.
So with these two, why don't we flash back to about the same time we did with Ganny and Ava. But to point out for our two Americans, this night is July 4th. It's Independence Day 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, let's zoom in on that moment and see what kind of, how up to speed Zebulon was brought.
Right, so,
Well, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there gunpowder on
the boat?
Do we have any of the dynamite left? Just like a stick.
If you're gonna use it,
For fireworks,
it's for
Lauren.
fireworks.
it's for fireworks. Yes.
One single stick.
One stick.
Single stick. One single stick. Yes. Then I think this Zebulon goes to ask Irene if she has any dynamite left. I think that's probably how this starts.
Yeah.
There's like a knock at your door, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, evening. Everything okay?
Yeah, things are fine. I mean, as fine as they can be, but I had a quick question. Did you happen to have any of that dynamite left?
Can I ask what you're using it for?
Oh yeah, I mean it's the 4th of July. It's I know we've been away for a little while, but you know, gotta celebrate when you can, especially these days.
I suppose that's true. I lost track of the days that way. And she goes to her bag. I'm sure that in the process of boarding, the ginormous amount of dynamite that she originally had was confiscated because, no.
Because absolutely not.
But maybe there was one, like, I don't know, hidden somewhere. She didn't realize it was there. So I think that she's going through. Oh, well, I don't know how good these will function as fireworks, but, and she'll hold out the stick.
I mean, there's always fireworks, but I mean, and I think at this point, like Zebulon's probably like walking and talking, like just assuming you'll come out with him.
Yep, Irene will. I'm like, all right, here we go.
I mean, there's always that part, but I mean, it's the one time a year where you can kind of explode stuff without people asking too many questions. Me and Frankie, we used to acquire some goods and take them out to a field and just kind of nothing too big, obviously. Nothing like dynamite. I will say nothing like dynamite. You can get like little firecracker type things, obviously I had to do it outside of the city. But it wasn't too hard to acquire. My pa, he worked for the naval base there, and I knew some folks there who, you could buy some stuff off of.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the people on the boat may not be so acquainted with the idea of explosions.
I'll make sure I'll get it out there. I used to play football. I can get it out there pretty far.
All right.
I mean, what are they going to do? Kick us off at this point? We're like several hundred
Well,
miles from anywhere.
they might call the police when we arrive there, but
I'll throw it underwater. I think it'll still go off. I've heard stories about being able to fish that way.
Irene had questions, but she won't ask them.
What about you? What
and-
did how'd you celebrate 4th of July?
Well, as you know, growing up, it was mostly just a excuse to have a day off. My dad was a coal miner, and mother's a seamstress, so days off are not a commonplace thing. So, just have a day where we could all be at home together and, have family meals and not worry and see my parents not exhausted at the end of a day.
Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of strange, we spend a lot of time. We've been spending a lot of time traveling, and technically we have a lot of days off, but it doesn't really feel like it, does it? Things just keep happening.
I don't know if it can be called days off when we're on a seemingly never-ending quest and always having to look behind our backs, around corners, and in shadows for whatever could be coming next.
It's been a pretty strange one, but there's an end in sight at some point, one way or another, I suppose.
I suppose there is, and well, either we gotta beat the clock or see what happens.
I imagine at this point we've probably reached like a railing at the edge of the ship. I think
Yeah.
Zeb would pick somewhere that's not full of people, other people, like maybe a back railing or something like that. I never quite got what happened to Charlie.
I think whatever, casual demeanor that Irene had on this entire time drops with that. And she purses her lips. Right. Well, when we were in the caves searching for the cult within, and before we found you, do you remember those statues?
Yeah, I mean, kind of hard to forget them. They were real freaky looking.
Yeah, well, Charlie, he went up and he touched one of them. And he disappeared. We don't know where. And the only notion of why comes from a good friend, Dr. Houston. Said that Charlie made a choice to leave. I don't remember
Any-
if Zeb was there for that conversation.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
You know, the funny thing about Charlie is, on a lot of occasions, he just never seemed to know when to leave well enough alone. But in other occasions, he just doesn't know when to act either.
Well, he chose to act this time. With Alday word, and if Dr. Houston is to be believed, for who can I only imagine is Zara.
Man, I mean, I guess I can see it. I mean, I think he saw something of himself in her, I think. I kind of picked up, I kind of felt like what it was. I mean, I think he saw someone like him with weird powers or whatever, an interest in the strange, and again, someone who doesn't know a lot of times when to leave well enough alone. I'm not biased at all in this opinion on either of them at all. Did y'all ever get a chance to talk further after Shanghai?
About what?
I don't know. I think you both had things you need to say to each other. You've been friends for a long time.
Well, yeah, we've been friends for a long time.
I'm gonna take it that as a no.
Well, we were kind of occupied, away from talking about things that weren't what Australia was going to hold, or where you could have been. We were leaving Shanghai without you, and we didn't know if you were okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Had to make a quick decision, and but let's not try getting off track here. I mean, do you like Charles?
Yes, I mean, of course, I like Charles.
As more than a friend, Irene.
It's you think as you get older, it's easier to figure that out. Charlie's been with me for a very long time. And he's been with me through some of the worst times of my life. Part of me wonders if, the types of feelings you would have towards someone, even if you were just friends, would deepen because of such circumstances. But thinking about it, being in love with Charlie would explain why I'm so angry at him right now.
Well, when we see him next time, after I punch him and you get to punch him or slap him or whatever it is you feel like getting out, you two just need to have a conversation.
I don't know about that, Zeb.
You two really need to have a conversation because watching you two is like watching some people play footsie under the table.
Oh. Zeb.
Everyone can see it. To some people, it's real annoying. To other people, it's very funny. But y'all just need to talk. Figure out whatever it is y'all need to figure out. No beating around the bush. Because I think if there's anything we've learned and experienced on this trip, it's that things can change real fast.
And I think Irene puts an arm around him and brings him into a side hug. Speaking of things changing fast, when did you get so mature?
I mean, I've always been this mature, Miss Irene, Miss Blackwell. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
And as he says that, he strikes the match. And he lights the dynamite, and he just hucks it as far as he can into the water.
Please make a throw check for me, just for laughs. Nothing bad will happen. I just want to see what it is.
Sorry, a witch check? A
Throw.
Oh man. Where is it?
It's all the way on the right. Toward the bottom.
Do I use an advantage on them? No.
I don't know. We got some from Hawk. I added one to everybody's handout. Thank you, Hawk.
What was he say? What is the what's the base on throw? Because I'm trying to remember if I put any points in throw or not.
It's either 25 or it's 10.
Okay, then I did put some points in throw. Not as many as you think, but it's been a few years since he played football, so
That's true. That's true.
Okay, come on. Hey, he still got it. That's exactly what he says. As he just perfect spiral throw out. He's like, I still got it.
That seems like a good place to then move forward again back to July 18th as the cargo steamer docks in the rain and the heat. And you disembark. You need to take a picture of that and frame it, Tommy.
You know, right? The roll going the way I wanted it to go for once.
So, as you disembark, how about everybody give me a spot hidden? I know you're excited. so many successes. It's just rude. Wow. Yeah, okay.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right. Oh my
Wow.
goodness. What?
Wow.
What's
You see
happening
shit.
Wow,
here?
it's Christmas?
Everyone but me.
It's a new
I
year.
see nothing.
I think that makes sense.
Makes me so mad too, because Charlie's spot hidden was like 95.
Yeah,
It was like
yo,
crazy.
it was super
Where's that quote? Hold on. Let me find it.
So we'll say Irene sees this first. And this also makes sense because she is the only one who can read any Shanghainese. Something you notice about the docks kind of posted on walls and poles are flyers. Not like the advertisements you saw for Mr. Lung, the astrologer, but just like written out ones, but it's a name that catches your eye. Li Wen Cheng. His name, your comprador,
Oh no.
is on all of these flyers.
Oh no. Irene, I think they're probably like walking off of the docks or whatever, and Irene will slow down as she's reading these, before she takes one of the flyers and like takes it off of the board. I think her comprador might be in trouble with the law or someone of equivalent authority here, which is actually quite a few groups, now that I think about it.
Well, shit.
It now makes perfect sense that I would have no reaction to any of
Yes.
this.
Zero reaction,
Who the
none.
fuck?
Yeah. Why don't you, Irene? Why don't you make a Shanghainese roll?
Cool. I'm not very good at this.
I
But,
know.
we'll use a fortitude advantage. I have a bunch. I need to use
Yes,
them
please
more.
use some of them.
Oh boy. All right. Let's. Oh, that's so close.
Oh, that's real close.
Oh,
That's
Jesus
not
Luck is
Christ.
free though.
Luck is a free. You
Luck
just got
is a
so
free
much
resource.
luck. Or
I did actually get so much
Or
luck.
don't. Like your choice.
Would you let me use it on that first roll?
Of course.
Cool. All right. Let's do that.
Okay.
Look, that's Mr. Lee. What the fuck happened to you?
He is missing, and he had
Oh no.
the start missing since is the night, the same night that Zebulon first went missing.
Great. Cool. So yeah, I think that she's now like come to a full stop as she's reading this. Oh. Good news. She's not an arrest warrant. Bad news. He's missing. And missing Ganymede the same night that Zeb, you went first missing, for us at least.
Ganymede just nods at you.
I mean, he didn't come with us. So, I got nothing on that.
Which probably means that been taken or been dealt with one of the many parties who don't particularly like us here.
Why don't people like you here?
Ganymede kind of smiles.
There's a lot of very not nice people here, and we're nice people.
We're the good guys.
We're the good guys, of course.
And let's just say, maybe us doing our nice things rub them the wrong way. Which is exactly how Zeb explains it.
Yeah. There are a lot of different groups here in Shanghai with different agendas, and we happen to be a obstacle or barrier to many of them. There's Ho Fei and the cult, which we've mentioned before. And he has connections to the Madame Swallow. And we've had quite a few dealings with her, not all of them quite positive, to say the least. And the police here are, many of them are under her bribery jurisdiction.
Okay.
What that does mean, though, is we should find the people that we are friends with here. My best bet is we go towards the bar. That's where Captain Soje is usually, if he's still lingering there after the last incident. Oh, I hope they don't want us to pay for any damages there. I mean, just thinking about all the fucking darts and like gunshots that happened on the run to the bar. But like, oh fuck. Because we also don't have our money. So much money.
Yeah,
we don't have
the money.
We still have some money from Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you always. you had
We
like
have some money from Jackson.
$50,000.
Yeah.
But we don't have Charlie.
Yeah, you'll have to actually talk to his, his person.
Yeah, we can't do the let's stay at the fanciest hotel in town anymore, I think.
Yeah.
Zev says, yeah, we should definitely probably find Captain Soje. And how are we with the new China people? How do we meet with them?
Well, we left off on very chaotic notes, but positive? Looks at Ganymede to be like, are we, I think we're good with Jack Brady and the new Chester. Don't know.
I'm sure they'll let us know.
I'm sure they would let us know if we were not welcome anymore.
We should probably figure out what we're gonna do next and maybe get out of town sooner rather than later.
Well, Eva, to get you up to speed, the headquarters for this branch of the cult happens to be on an island, a little offshore from here. From what we can tell, likely has the machine.
Oh, it definitely has it.
And, okay. And likely many cultists, and likely, monstrous creatures. Not the exact same as the ones we saw in the cave in Australia, but similar. And we also know that they like to do their activities around the moon. So, we have to get to that island and deal with that machine. Most of the times we have dealt with the cult directly as well. I don't know if that's just a pattern or it's just how it's coincidentally ended up being like.
Okay, so first thing we need to do is find your friend, the captain.
Yes. We have a couple of allies, thankfully. One of them happened to be Captain Soji of the Japanese Naval Army, who was investigating some of the incidents here, and we managed to reveal that the incidents he was looking into had roots in this cult. So he's willing to help us. And we also have Jack Brady. He is one of the people who was on the original expedition that likely set off this chain of events in the first place. And he survived and is very much on our side in terms of being against these cults. But he is involved with the New China movement here, which is another political gunpowder keg about to explode here. So it's complicated here. But we should find them and figure out what we're going to do.
Ganymede's getting increasingly nervous, even though we're moving, but paying attention to the street around them. I want to see if we're worried that we might be already followed. Not sure how likely that is, but
Yeah.
did we by any chance see either Captain Asoje's ship or the Sea Dragon, the Sea Devil rather, in port as we docked?
No.
Okay.
Well, do we want to stick together or do we want to check in with our friends and, how we used to do it? Groups of two.
Oh,
don't
well,
think anyone
after
should
the
go
last
alone.
splitting up happened here in Shanghai, I think we should stick together.
I agree.
Rather not lose sight of anybody right now.
Fair enough.
Irene will hook her arm in Zeb's.
Then we want to go to the bar first.
I think that's our safest starting point.
Yeah. Okay. So, through the rain and the heat, you head to the Stumbling Tiger. You see the same kind of green and magenta posters of some Chinese film stars and singers on the wall. You can kind of smell the cigarette smoke as you approach. Though when you arrive, the windows are shuttered and the doors closed. What do you want to do?
Knock, knock.
Kick down the door.
I mean, it's a bar. Just because the door's closed doesn't mean anything. Like, try and open the door.
Yeah. You, as you go to open the door, why don't you make me a listen check, Ava?
Oh, good. I get bonuses on those. I get
You
to do it
do.
twice. Wait, is that how it works? Or do it is it a
We'll use the bonus
die?
penalty.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Listen. Where is it? Where's my listen? I know where it is. Here we go.
See, you're fine.
I hear it.
Yeah. So
You have so much listen.
Yeah, I do.
Shanghai is a noisy city, right?
Yeah.
There are still people, even though it's raining, because it always rains at this time of year. You know, people are still hawking their goods. There's still vehicles moving around. But despite all of that, as you like go to open the door and find it locked, you can make out the kind of cutoff of some noise from inside, as if there was maybe talking that suddenly stopped.
Yeah. Okay. I think she's gonna just very like, is it unlocked though?
Nope.
Oh, because it is, so it is locked. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think she'll just turn to the group as she like takes her hand off the door handle. And she's gonna like lower her voice and kind of like lean in and be like, I heard someone inside, but the door is locked. If you know them, maybe you let them know that it's you.
All right. Let's hope they believe us.
And Ava will move back out of the way so somebody who's familiar with these
Yeah.
people can go first.
So is the door unlocked or
No,
is
it is not unlocked.
They're
In-
not.
In fact, you remember like last time you were here, you were like,
With a
was there a door? It
Yeah, there
kind
was
of-
no door.
Yeah, it was kind
Yeah.
of just open
Yeah.
with a curtain.
Zeb knocks a shave and a haircut.
Do you say anything or you just knock?
I will say something. Hello? It's Irene Blackwell?
Okay. You wait a moment and then the door, you can hear the unlocking and the door slowly opens. Irene, you're standing in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's Irene and Zeb right next to each other.
Yeah. And there's like the curtain, but it's kind of a little bit see-through, and through it you can see 3 figures, and you can hear the undoing of a like turning off of a safety on at least 2 guns.
Woo! Irene has her hands visible, no weapon.
Uh-huh.
Irene Blackwell and friends here. She's very much like she
Yeah.
can't see who this is, so she's just
Yeah.
like,
Y'all not open today?
And as soon as Zeb speaks, the curtain is kind of pushed and you see Jack Brady and Chu Min. And Chu Min sees you, Zebulon, and he holsters his gun and he pulls you inside with his big beefy arms and just like squeezes your shoulder and starts talking in Shanghainese. You have no idea what he's saying, but he's talking a mile a minute, like looking at you like, how are you alive? And
mirroring to Irene's reaction to him.
and Jack says, well, come on in, get out of the rain before somebody sees you.
Right. And she turns around and like beckons to the other two. Jack, we have a new friend with us. A friend. She's fairly new to all of this, but picked her up along the way.
Yeah. So he nods and makes sure that all of you are in before closing the newly attached door and locking it. Ava, you see this man, Jack Brady, American, kind of tan, with salt and pepper hair. Very handsome. And you see a bartender behind the bar. And you see what looks like a foreman or like a factory worker or dock worker. You're not really sure. But all the rest of you instantly recognize Captain Asojitaro in his disguise. And you are inside the stumbling tiger.
And is the bartender McChum?
Yeah, it's McChum.
Okay, good.
McChum.
Glad that they're all okay.
Yeah, they're
So
great.
far our friends are okay, except for Mr. Lee. So, you know.
Well, it's,
Yeah, Ava looks very, I think, out of place. Standing kind of like uncomfortably, kind of closer to the door.
Mm-hmm.
Got her satchel.
well, it's nice to see some friendly faces around here.
Captain Asojitaro does not look pleased to see you. But Chumin is still like, he's just like, just talking a mile a minute, like.
I apologize. I don't understand anything you're saying.
Ganymede's all business, I think, as they come in. She, last one in and takes a quick look over her shoulder before Jack closes the door. And she kind of positions herself midway between Jack and the captain and just says, "Is it safe to talk here?"
Safer than anywhere else we got. He lights a cigarette.
Well, we managed to neutralize the threat in Australia, such as it was. What's the situation here?
He kind of looks between the others and looks back at you. Much the same. They took Mushian.
And what about the shipments to the island? Have they continued?
No, it's been pretty dry on that front, actually. Is that thanks to you all?
Possibly. Chu Min filled you in on what we found out. Have you filled them in on what we found out there?
He nods. And then Jack has not put his gun away, by the way. It's just like on the bar next to him. Yeah, he said he left you behind on the island. How'd you escape, Zeb?
Oh. All right, I see where this is going. There was this. All right, so a lot of things aren't going to make a ton of sense, and I quite frankly don't know if I understand them completely. But let's all just assume that weird cult magic shit exists. I think we've all seen plenty of weird shit here. And as I was trying to get people off that island and fighting off weird creatures, monsters on that island, I got yanked, teleported, I suppose. there was, I don't know if you, there was this guy in Australia. It was my name, Dr. Houston. Strange cult fellow.
He claimed to be able to move people through space and time, and as proof offered up Zebulon.
Yeah, what she said.
Where's Charles?
He's gone.
What does that mean?
She turns to kind of face him full on. It means exactly what I said. He's gone. If I knew more than that, I'd tell you. It was a cultic of some nature. He interacted with some artifact and vanished.
Well, we came back to finish the loose ends we left here. Now that the spare backups of the machine are assumably no longer in reachable hands, we should probably deal with Hofei.
Yeah, we have some thoughts about that. Their ships, the Sea Devil and the Luxurious Goddess, headed out yesterday, in fact. Going to the island, we assume.
Right. Now we have a what is a new moon coming up?
2 days.
Well, like I was saying before to the others, we need to get on that island to deal with the machine, and I guess it depends just when we want to do it and how.
When Scholar Moo was still here, he thought that from all of the intel we'd collected, that going on the night of one of their rituals would be the best move. It'll be they'll be distracted. They probably won't be watching the waters because they'll all be there.
You must know that the gateway will be open during that time, and who knows what will come through.
Yeah, that's why we've been working with the captain here.
Well, good to see that two of you are working together.
Yes, it's been chummy.
I think Irene like suppresses a smile just because she's in. I think out of all the group, like she's had positive interactions with Captain Soche the most, and Captain Soche is like the least amount of chill possible.
Yeah.
And I think that she finally like really looks at Captain Soche and like gives him a nod. Good to see you well, Captain Soche.
He nods back. I proposed a full-on assault from the sea. We have the capabilities now, not too far out of reach. But Mr. Brady believes there may be captives on the island in need of rescue before such an assault could take place.
Well, if I'm to think about anything, I'm pretty sure that our Comprador is part of that captive group. And she like holds out the flyer.
And Jack says, and probably Scholar Moo and probably Madam Lynn. Nobody's seen her in weeks, though one of our Fermies saw her being escorted to Hofang's ship a while back.
Well, I suppose that friendship got in the way of politics and business.
Yeah. It's funny how that happens. And he's looking at you, Irene.
Irene's just like, ha. Irene's like seeing the look. She's not understanding what the look means.
You know, I'm with Brady on this one that we do need to try to get the captives off that island if we can, but all else fails, that the things on that island need to be destroyed, because then it might be a lot more than just one island at risk.
We know that the machine is an integral part of their plan. And destroying it needs to be our top priority.
Eva, I know that you don't have a lot of experience with this, but actually that might be good to have someone who isn't so jaded to these things to risk assess. What do you think?
She looks like super caught off guard that you even like addressed her. She's very much like outsider, like, I'm listening. I barely understand what you guys are talking about. I have very limited experience, but she's just like, I'm going to be trusting you all quite a lot to know what you're talking about. But if the weather keeps up the way that it's been, then coming in by sea might not be such a terrible idea. I think we've got enough cover with the rain if we keep the lights off. And it'll mask any noise, too. It could allow us to move in much bigger groups if we wanted to.
Brady says, we were thinking 3 teams. One for the beach, and 1 or 2 for the volcano.
You might
Sounds-
want to come up with a way to signal to each other if something goes wrong.
He smiles. If something goes wrong, that's where the captain comes in.
Sounds about right.
Would you like to be one of those teams?
So
Well,
the group.
we're the ones who are here to deal with Hofei and that machine. I think it's only right if we're going in some capacity, more on hands.
I think we've, at this point, got the most experience with the strange things that might happen there, and some of the powers that they can bring to be. What do you think, Kienna?
She just nods, a little impatiently.
I think Zeb is a little. This is something that's like should be really up Ganymede's, alleyway, right? Like the planning of an assault and jumping in. So Zeb's, gives Ganymede like a little like not confused look, but like a questioning look. Notes that he probably should talk to her.
Yeah, Ganymede sees that and interprets it as a prompt. Yes, of course. We'll. I'm not sure that you could accomplish all this without us, frankly. So where do you need us most? On the beach or inside with the machine?
I think Min can handle the beach. I'll lead 6 and try to go. Min says there's some kind of underwater entrance that might be viable. Then there's the main entrance. Of course, you'll need a way in. And Chu Min gets like very excited again. He can speak English, but he's been like so excited. He's just like
Yeah, when
rattling
you
stuff
just
off.
flip into your native language
Yeah.
because this is a lot easier for your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes behind the bar. McChum hands him something. It's like a suitcase, and Chuman slams it on the table and opens it. And he looks right at you, Zeb, and smiles and points down at these yellow and black robes, and he goes, "Disguise."
Yes.
And that's where we're gonna end this first episode back.
Hell yeah.
Disguise.
I love Chuan so much.
Strong arms. All
Time
right.
for Gerald Fitzpatrick to make his comeback.
Gerald Fitzpatrick, the cultist.
Disguise.
Master
Gerald
of disguise.
Fitzpatrick.
Okay, good. Let's go around and check in with everybody. Shout out anything you'd like. Let's start with Tommy.
Oh my gosh, so good to be back. What a great episode. Love to see the moments between characters, sort of when things are calm. Loved Ewa and Ganny's conversation. We both have similar experiences. We are not the same. So good. And so good to see some friendly, familiar faces. That's a rare thing these days. So glad to see most people are still fine in this group. Most,
Yeah.
not all. And super excited to begin the island assault. And disguises! Gerald Fitzpatrick will return.
Gerald Fitzpatrick.
I'm Tommy. Man, it's been a minute. Editor to ping on the Twitter sphere. Just doing this right now. There's stuff at some point coming out in the future. Some point. Just keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, go follow these amazing people and the amazing things they're doing.
Awesome. Let's go over to Summer.
What a great first episode back. I'm so happy. Loved the scenes at the beginning, and we're gonna just dive into it. I'm so hyped. Disguise. I'm really excited. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet and retweet about everything I've got going on. You can find me here on Twitch at It's Just a Summer Job, where I stream most days of the week. And obviously you can find me here every Saturday now at 10 a.m. Pacific. So excited. And then tonight, actually, I'll be over on Dylan's channel, Analysis with Kienna, where we're playing our Ironsworn campaign from Dust Before It's Settled.
See us play very different characters.
Very different characters. I'm a bird.
You're a bird.
Of course you are.
I'm a bird. Yeah, so if you want to see me play a very different character over there who has much less trauma, please go join us. But yeah, I'm so excited for next week. Woo!
Amazing. Let's go up to Allie.
Yeah, this was so good. It's just like, I can only echo what everybody else said. It's just so good to be back, and it feels, as much as they've changed, it still feels like home in these characters and in this world, and I love it very much. And I can't wait to see where all of this is headed. Yeah, so I'm Allison. You can find me online. You can find me online if you look real hard. I'm not on social media so much these days, trying to focus on living my actual life. Highly recommend. It's good stuff. Give it a shot. But you can always find me here on Saturdays, because this is as good as it gets. I love this stuff. I can't wait. Thanks, everyone.
Kienna.
Yay! God, this is so good. I'm so excited to be back. Causing chaos as we just go full straight into danger as we do. Wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, you can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to figure out I'm doing it when I'm not here on the channel. Mostly here though, and I'm on break because I finally am done my day job, and I'm taking an actual proper no work break for a month. So you'll see me shit posting on Twitter more often. You'll see me posting any project stuff, but you can still find me there. And like Summer said, I'll be over on Dylan's channel and RSS tonight, where Summer plays a bird. I play a spirit walker who has been so fucked up physically and emotionally. She's basically fired Jesus, which is a great revelation to have in the middle of a journey. You know, suddenly you're the Messiah of your people. You didn't ask for this. You're just here now. But yeah. And what about you, Lauren? Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren. I'm sometimes that salty ginger in places. I'm the salty half of this channel. You can find me sometimes on Discord, but I am mostly here and mostly buried in work right now. But to do some channel shout outs. Thank you to everybody who is here lurking, chatting. Really appreciate just seeing y'all, like our first day back. Really meant a lot. Thank you to Hawk for that tip. Saving lives as you do with our vitamins. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you to Roll20, Dice Envy, Grinding Coffee Co. We can be found on Twitter at saltysweetgames, where we tweet about going live mostly and sometimes other things. We can also be found on YouTube if you ever miss an episode. Hello to our YouTube friends. What else? I think that's it. I think we're going to go raid a friend from Emporium, our stream team. And otherwise, we will be back next Saturday with our new China / Japanese Imperial Navy /
What
whatever,
a team up.
whatever you guys are, raid on Great Dragon Island. It's gonna be
We're the
awesome.
A-team.
There's a volcano. We're going into a
The
volcano.
dream team.
The dream team. All right, everybody. Wave bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.